Hi, I'm Hector from Assertive, and welcome to another installment of our Identity Security series. Across councils, utilities, and SMBs, one challenge keeps repeating. How do you protect privileged access when attackers no longer hack in? They log in. Credential-based attacks are now the most common entry point, and for smaller organizations, traditional PAM tools are often too heavy, too costly, or simply impractical. That's why identity-based protection has become the modern approach, extending MFA and access policies to every system, including legacy and on-prem environments that were never designed for it. It's about visibility and control, knowing who's logging in, from where, and where that access is justified. This series looks at how that principle comes to life through Silverfort's privileged access security and how it helps the small organizations close the credential gap without enterprise-level complexity. Before we explore how to protect privileged accounts, it's worth understanding how they are structured, because each layer of your environment carries a different level of risk. Picture your organization as a three-tier pyramid. At the top sits tier 0, home to your domain controllers, identity providers, and certificate authorities, the systems that define trust. Tier 0 users make up less than 1% of your workforce. They are the domain administrators who manage the entire organization, and if attackers reach them, it's game over. Beneath that is Tier 1, where about 98% of your administrators operate. These are the people who maintain servers, databases, and applications, the systems that keep the business running. And at the base lies Tier 2, made up of laptops, desktops, and shared workstations, the environment of the help desk teams. Roughly 1% of administrators operate in this tier. This is where most attacks begin, as adversaries steal credentials and try to climb up their tiers. Separating these tiers and the accounts within them limits how far an attacker can move if one layer is compromised. It's the foundation of a stronger privileged access defense. The separation is done by creating different accounts for different tiers. So let's say John is a tier 0 user. He should have a personal account that he will use to log into his personal PC, and a stronger account, John-A, in order to access his tier 0 resources. In many IT environments that have grown organically over the years, day-to-day operations often take priority over long-term strategy. The result is a patchwork of accounts and permissions that few fully understand. It becomes difficult to see which users still have access to critical systems, which service accounts are dormant or forgotten, and in some cases, even how many of them exist at all. What began as practical shortcuts to keep things running ends up creating blind spots that attackers can easily exploit. Silverfort helps address this challenge through its discovery and classification feature, which allows account monitoring based on actual footage. Classify your accounts based on the highest tier they access. By navigating to privileged access, you can see your accounts classification to tiers based on their actual footage. Now, you configure your assets on the resource settings, and the systems will automatically assign the users based on their access to the resources of every tier. We will now add our PKI server to the tier 0 asset. There we are. We can even choose which service will be considered as tier 0. I think I'll select them all. And you can also select a group or an OU of resources and not only individual assets to capture a larger scope from now on. Users that will use the selected services on the PKI server will be considered as tier 0 users, respectively. Users who access assets defined in tier 1 will be classified accordingly as tier 1 users. All privileged users are now automatically classified by their real activity. giving you clear tier-based visibility and control across your environment. In the next videos of this series, we'll continue discussing how Silverfort helps small organizations secure privileged access and showing you how easy it is to adopt. Thank you so much for your time.